Hi guys, it's Charles Almighty Wraith with Game Warriors Gaming for a Cause, and you're watching Unscripted. And on today, we will be talking about: are you defined by your circumstances, or do you define your circumstances? So, with that, what I'm talking about is we all have these outside influences. We have circumstances that come up, that pre, keep us from doing things. We have, bad things that happen to us, good things that happen to us. We have things that we can control and things that we can't control. Um, but, are you going to let that hinder you? Do you let that stop you from doing what you should do or what you can become? So, um, I can sit here all day and give you statistics about uh, how people overcome their adversities. I could give you success stories of famous people who were born into poverty or so on and so forth. But all that would be me reading somebody else's stuff, me reading you statistics. But what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to let you take a peek at me and something that I'm passionate about, things that I've seen, things that I've witnessed, things that I've been through, and how I got to where I am. Now, my family history and my past were not the worst that it could have been. I wish I could say that it was, because then the world would be a much better place. But my life was not as easy as some of everybody else's, because um I growing up, I didn't have everything I wanted. I didn't have, the best of everything, but I did have everything that I needed. It may have not been, you know, first class. It may not have been even second class or anything like that. It was, the necessities. Um, and then on top of that, I had, family members that were in and out of jail. I had, all these bad things happening, and, uh, history of abuse, both um, mentally and physically, sexually, all of these things happening to me and my loved ones and stuff like that. Um, to the point that where, you know, while I was still in elementary school, I'd already attempted suicide multiple times. While I was staying depressed, um, you know, coming from a broken home that had that type of abuse and everything surrounding it, you know, um, at one point, um, to keep myself from being depressed all the time, I gave myself a goal, and that goal, it wasn't a good goal. My goal was that the object of my rage and what I perceived as the um the big evil in my family and everything else. My goal was to eliminate that and then eliminate myself. Um, Through suicide. It was just, that was how I dealt with it. That was my look on it and everything. So, um, as time went on, as I got older and everything else, I started seeing things differently. I had people that I tried to turn to that, used my pain to meet their selfish needs. I had people that was telling me I was never going to amount to anything. I'd be better off dead. That the world would be better off without me. These were coming from people who were supposed to protect me, to encourage me, to grow me, and everything else. And you know, um, feeling isolated and alone. You know, um, Now I still don't have a large bank account. I still you know, have trouble making ends meet from time to time. You know, you know, but I don't have the best house. I don't have the best car or anything of that nature. But what I have a support system of family and friends that love me, that I would die for, and I would do anything for, and that they would do the same for me. I define my circumstances by using my past to drive me to make this world a better place, to make the people around me better, to make myself better than I was yesterday, and then tomorrow make myself better than I was today. Um, and I, uh, I still struggle with depression. I still struggle um, with self doubt and everything else. I still have trust issues, um, but I do not let that hold me back. You know, most people define success by their physical um, uh, material needs and by their money and so on and so forth. That's all going to pass. That's all going to go away. But the legacy that you leave behind, that is a measure of true success. So, you know, for me, um, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking, and he had quoted something to me, and I'm not going to try to do the quote exactly because I'm just going to butcher it anyway. So, you know, but it states that, you know, if you hold on to your pain, it remains your pain. But if you give it to the world and you can use it, you can help someone, and then it becomes their gain. Meaning that if you hold on to your pain, you're just going to let it rot you and consume you from the inside out. But if you give it and you use that as a tool, use it as motivation, and you might help someone that's going through what you went through, and they may be able to overcome better than what they would have if you hadn't. You know, you may be the light at the end of someone's tunnel. You may be that that motivation for them not to take their own life or to do something stupid. Um, you know, I started Game Warriors Gaming for a cause out of that. You know, all the stuff that I had went through in my past, you know, that motivates me, that sits there and it guides me with Game Warriors. That's why we choose certain things that we choose and everything, you know, because it's something we're passionate about. If I can make one person not have to feel alone that, you know, has went through something that I went through, that was molested by someone, whether I know it or not, I don't need to know it. But to know that I let someone know that there is help for them, there are people who care for them. I've taken my circumstances and I've turned them into a weapon. You're so much so you hear people talk about the potter and the clay and how the potter will mold the clay into this nice piece of art. You know, one that I'm not an artist, but what resonated with me was watching a blacksmith forge a sword. You know, started with a piece of metal, put it in fire, got it red hot, and then beat it into the shape that he wanted, and then stuck it back in there and just repeated the process. That's what your circumstances are. They are forming you, forging you. And you can choose to let them beat you down and remain what you are, or you can let them forge you and form you into something that is going to enrich someone else's life, enrich the world around you. So, I could probably go on for hours on this subject, but I'm not. Guys, I just want to encourage you, whatever you're going through, Seek someone to talk to. Do not let your circumstances define you, but you define your circumstances. Are you going to let that be your stopping point, or is that going to be your hurdle that you overcome that jumps you to that next step? Guys, this has been Charles Almighty Wraith, and until next time, stay awesome. Catch y'all next go around.